I'm sitting here today with Mr. Ishigaki Yumesaku, who is the head of the transaction banking business for Bank of Tokyo-Mitsubishi UFJ in Japan, the largest bank in Japan, the largest bank in Asia by assets. He's also a board member of SWIFT. Thank you, Mr. Ishigaki, for speaking to us today.
Pleasure.
So could you maybe tell us a little bit more about Bank of Tokyo-Mitsubishi UFJ and the kind of work that you do in the FI business, of course. You are the biggest bank in Japan with probably the most relationships, but what are you sort of doing with these relationships and where do you want to take them going forward?
As you might know, our bank is very solid, have a very solid capital and a very solid balance sheet, and we luckily went through the Lehman crisis. But as you might know, the Japanese population is decreasing, and GDP growth of Japan is limited. So to expand our business, we have to go overseas, and our focus is mainly on Asia. And the CEO of the international business unit is his target is 40% revenue from overseas business. It's currently 30% or so, and in the past it was below 15%. To do so, we have to enhance our transaction business in Asia and also the other areas.
You also have invested in banks overseas. I guess Union Bank of California is one big one. I believe you also bought a bank in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Would you be acquiring more banks around the region, or how would you sort of increase this?
If you have the opportunities, especially in the United States, as you said, Union Bank acquired 2 banks under the FDIC programs, and if there's a chance and we could see any synergy, we do that. And in Asia, because the regulation is very complicated and it's very difficult to acquire 100% the banks in Asian regions. So in such a case, we would like to have strategic partnership with banks which they could help us.
Is having a deposit base, a retail deposit base, important for you? Is that something that you would wish to have? Because of course you have it in
Asia
Japan and the US, but would you also like to have this in Asia?
In Japan we have plenty of deposit base, but as you said, after the Lehman crisis, liquidity is very important thing and key thing. So deposit in other regions like United States, Europe, and Asia, it's getting very important. So we're trying to get it, and also capture the transaction flows into our infrastructures. We would like to increase our liquidity in that region as well.
Yeah, I mean, these factors are all very important for most recent regulation, things such as Basel III.
Exactly.
How do you see something like Basel III impacting your business? Certainly it has a big impact on trade finance, but maybe you could describe it overall for your bank, and maybe Japanese banks in general.
Well, especially to the trade finances, as like everybody, we are very concerned about the ratio of the credit exposure to LC finances, because it's supposed to be 100%, but it's kind of a nonsense, because it's much safer than the credit derivatives or other things. So that impacts pretty much on the trade finance.
What about Japanese banks' capital adequacy? I think they're basically seen as having low capital. So what's the way out for Japanese banks?
As you might know, we've issued 1 trillion yen equity finance early this year. So we are fine on that aspect, but we have to be prepared for other kind of criteria, tier 2 or something like that. Maybe Basel III may put more pressure on banks on the capital side, not only on the core tier 1 but also tier 2. And we are a little better position than other Japanese banks among major Japanese banks.
What about the issue of cross-shareholding? Because I think that's also quite unique in
yes.
large managers.
We are, changing, and I mean, we are selling such kind of cross-shareholdings to decrease because it's kind of a burden for us as well. It doesn't make money, but capital cost is very high.
What about the strategic benefit? Is it?
Of course, there were strategic benefit of cross-shareholding, but under this regulation change, we have to think about, rethink it.
Right. Maybe I'd like to shift a little bit to your other role, I guess, as a director on the SWIFT board.
Yeah.
In terms of what SWIFT is doing, could you maybe talk a little bit about the Asia focus?
Yeah,
and maybe what conversations and discussions you bring into the SWIFT board through this role?
Okay. So, obviously the focus of SWIFT is Asia as well, and there's a go local policy because Asian regions are a bit different from Europe or US. So each country is different in regulation-wise and also the banking system-wise. So go local policy is the right thing. But I think Asia and South America would be the only area which gonna grow from now on. So I think we need more resources in these regions and to disseminate the people in the region, and also the standardization is a key because even in Japan the domestic network is really domestic.
Yeah. Right.
So you have to be open to international business areas or business world. So it's an interesting thing that JustTech will provide the SWIFT connection in the next replacement of their system or infrastructure. So they provide a SWIFT connection option. So we would like to utilize that option. But to do so, maybe SWIFT have to do more things.
Well, I guess that's the point, really, because there's always been the criticism that Asian banks aren't really adopting SWIFT the way that banks in other regions have, because there's not enough, in a sense, specification made for. There's not enough the SWIFT doesn't quite meet the requirements of the Asian banks, and the specifications aren't really made for Asian banks. How much is this changing, or is this a concern?
I think it's not the problem of the SWIFT, but also the problem the domestic authorities. They would like to protect kind of their world, I think. So that's understandable, but still, if they have to, SWIFT have to show the advantage of using SWIFT in terms of cost and also in terms of the amount of the information or way of communicating.
So it's not a question of the intention or capabilities, but rather the way of communicating.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So how can this be improved?
Oh yeah, as a representative from Asia, I would like to coordinate between SWIFT and authorities and central banks. If I could do that. Maybe it's going to be more improvement. So I think that's my role.
Okay, well, good luck in that role.
Thank you.